Hello Jane, yes it's Chris here, and I've decided to do a little video regarding the whole idea of Psychic Reading's premium rate websites, and I just felt that it would be useful to put this together. So just to explain a few things, look, obviously you came to myself regarding the concept of a website, and that's only one aspect, because what you really need to be aware of is the competition and what other sites are doing at the present time. So I have put some notes together outside of this, which I will cover with you on the meeting that we're going to have. But that aside, just a small video just to try and explain some of the other considerations that you need to have in place. So firstly, look, I've actually put in the keyword phrase psychic readings, and as it stands, what this basically means is 4.5 million results suggest that there's a site containing, not necessarily exactly, but containing psychic readings 4.5 million times online as it stands. Now if I want to get to know how many sites are actually optimized for this phrase alone, then if we actually put those brackets around, then we've got more or less 3.5 million that will have exactly that keyword phrase on each site. So in terms of true competition for that particular keyword phrase, there is pretty much 3.5 million competing sites online. Now these particular listings on the left, just the first few on the left there, and the ones down the right hand side are what we call paid for listings. Now what this basically means is that they're going along, this is Google itself, and obviously with search engines work very similar, but what's basically taking place is that these companies are paying Google to have their adverts visible. Now let's just take a look here. Let's hope that it'll allow me to bring this up whilst I'm recording. So as it stands, what this is saying is that this company is drawing the most relevance if that term psychic readings is placed in the search bar. So I've got some software that allows me to see what keywords are being used to optimize for that particular phrase. Now it appears, based on this information, I'm not going to go into it in mass detail, but it looks like they've got quite a few keywords here that they've not particularly got either a budget for, or it's not attracting any. Well, let's just get this across, just wait a minute. A great deal of interest, because as it stands, as you can see there, their budget's about 60p, which is nothing really. So let's just have a look, see if I can find another one. Why that's actually being shown as a top listing, I'm not too sure. Let's just take a look. Okay, let's just go on to this one. Yeah, this is peculiar really, because I did find a site where there was hundreds of pounds per day being applied, but this is showing their average position 6.6, their average cost per click. So they are paying, when they do get a click, they are paying a sizable amount of money on average. Now it looks like today it's just a slow day at the time of actually looking up this information, just a slow day for people actually looking out for this information, but it's on average they are having to pay quite a significant amount of money to actually claim a listing for this particular keyword. So up to £8.15 per each time they have got a click. So that's quite a sizable amount of money, but it also suggests to me that they still believe that this is lucrative enough to have what is a reasonable advertising budget. They must feel that putting this high cost on their clicks is worthwhile in terms of the rewards. So there is competition associated with this, which you wouldn't expect any different. but at the same point it's evident that these companies that are actually placing their adverts believe that having this sort of advertising budget is worthwhile, or they would not be willing to pay these type of figures per click. So that's significant amounts. Normally when you're doing pay-per-click advertising, you really want to have your clicks well under £1, so this means that this is really competitive. Okay, so enough of that just for the time being. So you've got your paid for listings, and you've also got what's called your organic listings, which are free listings. Okay, now this company at the top, let's just see if I can expand this slightly. No, I can't really. But why is this company at the top of the listings? Well, there's a number of reasons. It has got a good internal link structure. So it has a number of pages linking to each other within the site with specific keywords which Google likes, and then it's got a little bit of content on each site, and then it's obviously always bring it back to the old concept of how you pay for that service. Now, outside of this, I've also got software that allows me to find out per each particular website what is taking place with regards to how they are marketing. Now, what this company are enabling or are able to do is that I actually found out that they had been, let's have a look, yeah, the website is aged 11 years and 7 months. That in itself provides a lot of kudos where Google are concerned. This would be a site that, based on its age alone, would be difficult to surpass in terms of finding the #1 spot, because Google are actually putting a lot of weight on the ranking of this site based on the amount of years it's actually been in operation. It's also got quite a significant linking structure. So if we go back to this, you can actually start looking at what's called these outbound links, and if I start scrolling down, you can start seeing that if you started adding up, there's quite a lot of significant links being pointed back to this particular website. And what that means is the fact that a combination of the age of the site, the fact that it's got these links pointing back from other sites, from external sites, Google sees these links as votes of confidence towards this particular site, psychicreadings.org.uk. And what they're actually saying is that not only has it been in existence for a long period of time, but it's evident that all these sites have got significant confidence in this site to have links to it. So when it says as backlink, it means that all these sites have got a link to the site that I've just shown you, and all these factors working together, its internal structure, about it's got links within its own site and links from external sites alongside the age that it's been in operation, is ensuring that as far as Google's concerned, it's deserving of a #1 listing when it comes to the organic or free listings. So the thing to keep in mind is twofold. Firstly, based on this keyword alone, the amount of competing sites is the first thing. Secondly, you would have to consider how do you find, or how do people find your site? How do you get it visible? Because my thoughts are that if you certainly go below the second page, you're not going to get any interest. The first page is obviously the prime goal, but beyond the second page, and you forgot about, you're not going to attract any visits at all. So as I said beforehand, you need to be aware of the level of competition. You need to be aware that when it comes to pay-per-click advertising, I don't think that all these are actually optimised to the best. I think that the actual adverts could be better, the keywords could be better, but it's needless to say that there is people paying what amounts to decent money for these particular keywords. Now, when it comes to the actual free listings, how can you actually compete with sites that have been in existence for such a long period of time? Now, I haven't gone into the ones that just fall below this top site, but needless to say, it's quite possible that some of the other sites that are on the first page have got some longevity as well in terms of how long they've been in operation. Well, in answer to that, the only way of competing realistically is to ensure that the infrastructure of the site, the way that it's linking, the content, as a minimum, is no worse and ideally better than the site that you're competing with. So in my experience, what I would be looking to do is I'd be looking to utilize the keywords associated with this site and ones that we could research. And there's ways of maybe even building a blog associated with this, pointing back to this with content that people would be interested in, and then having adverts on that particular page and driving it to the main site. And then it would also need to have a linking structure that would give these sort of links that we've got on this particular research. How would we go about doing that? Well, the reality is this software is already pulling information from where this top site is linking to. So there would have to be a linking campaign utilizing this information and also getting links to your site from these so that it's got the same sort of relevancy, it's got the same sort of weighted averages. That is what would need to, excuse me, it's going mad. Oops. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is I've got software that allows us to spy upon any site to find out what sites it's linking to. The page rank is a figure that Google provides all websites, and it's a way of establishing in its mind what authority that site has got when viewing details online. So the higher the page rank, the better the authority of that site is perceived. So one thing that I've noticed is that it's not showing any particular links to, say, something like YouTube, so it might be possible to put a video advertisement or even a video testimonial when the site got built and was ongoing, because certainly sites like YouTube, their page rank would be higher than this. So there is sites that it's possible to get an higher rank than page 5, but these give us information as to where this site is linking to and the amount of links that it's receiving. So as a first attempt at discovering information that would be useful from your own point of view and how to start marketing the site, this is gold dust, because we now know that the top ranking site is utilizing these sites to enable it to stay where it is. So that would be the first point of call from a organic point of view of getting links to your website. Outside of that, I've also utilized a tool called Google AdWords, and I've actually put in the term psychic readings. Now this is a piece of software that Google provides, and let me just move this across slightly. Okay, I'm not going to quite get it all in, but anyway, this is showing that psychic readings has got eye competition, which I think we're already aware of. It's got something in the region of 165,000 global monthly searchers, and if I just move this slightly across, local searchers, which would be more UK based, are 90,500 per each month. These are exact matches, so this is where people are actually just typing in psychic readings. This particular one is psychic, sorry, let's put that across again. This particular one is psychic readings, and that could be applied alongside another phrase. This is where psychic readings are just being used solely as the search term. And in that particular situation, there's then 22,200 specific to psychic readings and 9,900. Sorry, could have done to widen this page, but you've got also then 9,900 searches per the UK and 22,000, which would amount to worldwide. It then goes on to suggest further keywords down this column, and also the level of competition and the amount of searches per each month. So these are the type of tools that need to be utilised to ensure that you've got the right keywords on your site, you're aware of the competition, and then there can be a strategy formulated to come up with a plan that utilises that information to the betterment of your site. Okay, I've just put clairvoyant readings in. As you can see, there's less competition associated with clairvoyant readings. So if we were to put clairvoyant readings in this particular search tool, I can then establish, just move this across slightly, I can establish that there's actually less, although it's still high competition, there's less global searchers. So although it's still a good idea to actually optimize for this particular keyword, it's evident that it's not actually attracting quite as much interest as psychic readings. We put in relationship advice, there again, there's actually still an high level of competition, but here again, it's not attracting the same level of searchers each month. So this is a good way of establishing what is being looked for each month and the level of competition that's associated with it. If we come back onto Google, and we look at sites that are particularly optimized for relationship advice itself, yeah, there's still 7.5 million. 7.5 million that somewhere along the line appear to have relationship advice. Now, that's not necessarily going to be all related to psychic advice, although there is still a lot of sites which are trying to optimize through the paid listings for that particular type of niche. So, okay, the software seems to have locked up for the present time, but all I'm trying to establish with you is the fact that it's not just about building a website, it's then about having a strategy of what do we do. Do we, in the first instance, in my opinion, whichever route you took, whether it be the listings down the right hand side, which are what we call pay-per-click, or whether it was a strategy to try and find yourself in what is called the organic listings, which are normally associated with what we call free listings, which ultimately there will be, you would need to have a budget to get you visible either here or on this side. Now, the costs on this particular side would be all to do with building links to get to your website and to make sure that the content was optimized and it had the right type of content. Now, that might be done in 1, 2, 3 months. This strategy suggests that these companies have accepted that they're struggling to get a good placement on what's called the organic listings or the normal free listings down this side, and are willing to pay significant money to try and compete with people that have got good listings on this side of the equation. But either way, there would need to be an advertising budget put in place so that you can either compete with the perceived free listings or have a continuous monthly budget to pay to get it to the site. So not easy to put this information across, but I hope that that explains a little bit as to some of the factors that are involved, and also the fact that, as I've already pointed out, there is software that provides information that assists with the knowledge as to where to go and find backlinks to your own site through being able to spy on existing information of sites that are doing well. And that is both through paid listings and also through the free listings as well. So sorry if this has got a bit technical, but I just wanted you to be aware that outside of just having a site built, there's a lot more factors involved in respect of how you actually become visible to potential visitors. So I hope that's helped, and obviously we'll talk this through as we go along. But at least it's something to work with, and thanks again.